guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Debbie and I always love to post videos on how to save time and money. But today is going to be a little different because my new YouTube friend Ester Frias, who if you haven't seen her channel, I'm going to leave the link in the description box down below. She posts amazing videos on how to organize and keep your house clean. And if you need any kind of motivation on either one of them, Esther's your girl. She's amazing. I love setting my videos to her and just being able to do whatever room she's tackling, and next thing you know you're done and you're bopping along with the music that she plays. She is fantastic. So she tagged me in this quarantine Q&A, and I have a list of questions on my computer that I'm going to answer and go along. So let's get started, I guess, right? Question number 1 is, how has work changed for you? Well, work has changed tremendously, and honestly, I'm kind of liking it. Don't tell my coworkers. But work has changed a lot for both me and my husband because we work at the same firm, and usually we had about a 40-minute commute both ways. And that was getting stressful for me, honestly, because I have to go pick up Emily from school, and there's always traffic on the way home, so that's stressful enough. So I'm actually saving an hour and 20 minutes by now because of the quarantine working from home. So it's actually worked out pretty good. Question number 2 is, how has home life changed for you? Home life has changed for me, I would say, for the better, because I have 2 teenagers. My daughter's 15 and my son is 14, and then we have our little Emily who's 5. So the teenagers were starting to hang out with different crowds and be out Friday night and Saturday night, not late, but be out with their friends, and getting them together for any kind of family activity was getting a little hard. And of course, at that age, they'd rather hang out with their friends sometimes. So having them in quarantine here, where they're stuck here with me, has actually been pretty nice. And although they still bicker, they've actually been bickering less than they were before the quarantine, which I can't figure out, but I'm not going to argue about it. And we've really been able to enjoy each other more and do more family activities, like play games and watch movies. And sometimes it's separate and sometimes it's together. But when it's together, it's so nice because I know that I only have a few years left with my teens, and my husband and I, we just really want to enjoy some drama-free quality time. So it's really worked out well for us. Question number 3 is, do you know anyone who has tested positive for COVID-19? Yes, we do. And it really, I'm trying not to get emotional because my mom is in a nursing home and she's one of the real vulnerable ones. But not only are the patients there vulnerable, which I know a few of them, and they're so nice to me and my family when we stop by. One of them even goes out of her way in her wheelchair to come out and give Emily a box juice that she saves for her when she knows we're coming. But the nursing staff there, they're fantastic. I can't say enough about them. They go above and beyond for all the patients, including my mom. And a few of them have gotten infected. One of them was actually on a ventilator, which, again, she's one of the ones that's the closest with my mom, and she really does so much for her. And luckily, she's better. And the other 2 staff members that got infected as well are all better now. So we're just so glad. All the patients' families got together and started sending food over on different days so that the staff who was working, I think 16-hour shifts at some point, because while some of the members were sick, the other ones covered their shift. Can you imagine if you work more than 9 hours a day at a full-time job? Let me know in the comment section down below because you should deserve some praise. But these staff members were actually working from, I'm going to say 14 to 16-hour shifts to cover for the ones that were sick. And we just kept sending food over. Everybody took shifts in different kinds of restaurants. And we can't say enough about them. They're fantastic. And any essential worker who's out there, still, our hearts go out to you, honestly. Here's a funny one. What's your toilet paper situation? Well, I covered this in a previous video and I'll link it above. But when when COVID hit, I was um, I was naive, I guess is the right word to say. I'm always very positive, or I try to be, and very hopeful. And I never imagined that we'd be in a situation where we'd be in quarantine for so long. I never even thought we were going to be in quarantine at all before this whole thing started. So once they called me and told me that my mom's nursing home was going to be closed to visitors, that was like the rock that hit me in the head. And that's when I was like, I need to somehow have like a stock up of certain items. And by then, the toilet paper was pretty much gone. So luckily for Amazon, we were able to get a box. And I actually, when I couldn't find the box, I got a package of the I think they're Cottonelle wet wipes. And luckily we never had to use them. I still have them in my garage. But Amazon came through, and we haven't even finished going through that box. And I just got toilet paper in my last grocery haul, which if you haven't seen that one, I'll link that one above too. So luckily toilet paper, we're good. Number 5 is, what are grocery stores like? I honestly don't know. And again, I give it up to Walmart because their grocery pickup service has been fantastic. Although we were really stressed at certain points, which of course you'll see in my previous videos if you guys followed me, but we were really running low, and our refrigerator was getting really bare because it was really getting hard to get a time slot for Walmart to be able to place an order to use their grocery service pickup, which if you haven't used it, what it is you place an order online and then they tell you what date and time to go to the store and pick it up, but you never walk in. You pull your car into a spot and you open up your trunk, and the employee puts all your groceries in the back of your car, and then you simply close the car and you go. So it's a great service. But because everybody was bombarding them because no one wanted to go into the stores, obviously, it really got hard to find that time slot. But luckily things have gotten better, and now they're actually starting to use a grocery delivery service as well, where you don't have to go to the store. Your bags can actually get dropped off outside the door, and I think they're charging $12.95 here for it. But it's a great service, obviously, because then you don't have to again go into the stores. So I haven't walked into a store since the beginning of March, and luckily we've had enough food to get us through. And but I have heard from my friends who have gone into the stores that the shelves are pretty stocked up. In the beginning they weren't, but it's still, what's really hard to still find here is any kind of cleaning and disinfecting. So any kind of like disinfecting sprays or disinfectant wipes. Also liquid hand soap, not only the antibacterial but the regular one. It's getting really hard to find. Actually, I haven't seen it in 8 weeks maybe. I've seen it, but we're using the bar soap, so we're fine. We're still able to wash our hands and stay safe. Number 6, what is your city like? Well, we live in New Jersey. The reason why we live here is because it's safe, and the kids pretty much know a lot of their friends in the neighborhood, so they can go out for bike rides, and as long as they stay in a group, they're safe. And nothing's really changed in our city, honestly, except for the fact that the few times that I've gotten in my car and had to drive to like the pharmacy to pick up medication at the drive-through, for example, the streets are really bare. Like, it's really easy making turns that usually you'd have to wait a while in order to be able to turn left onto like a major road. You can do it pretty easily. There's not really a lot of people out other than just running small errands and I guess essential workers right now. Number 7 is, if you have kids, what is the situation like, and are they at home or daycare? Well, like I mentioned before, my daughter is 15, my son is 14, and we have a little 5-year-old. And luckily for us, we're all able to stay home. And although they don't like it, because my older two, they can't wait to be able to go out and be with their friends again. Luckily for us, we're all able to stay home and be safe. And the 3 kids, to be honest, have had to do their online schooling, and the high school gave my eldest daughter a laptop, but my son and my little one have had to share the home computer, and at times my teenager's laptop doesn't work. So three kids using the same computer can get a little stressful, but we've come up with a plan and a schedule so that not only can all three get their homework done, but they can spend quality time with the little one, which allows my husband and I to be able to work the hours that we're supposed to work with it being quiet in the back, especially if we have to get on the phone with our bosses or anyone else. So we've all worked as a team and we're so proud of them, and so far so good. It's been a good situation. What are some of the negative things that have come of this? I don't know how to answer that. Um, I think obviously the negative things that have come up of this is the fact that so many of the essential workers are getting sick themselves and they didn't have the supplies that they needed in order to be able to stay safe. And of course, all the people that have lost loved ones. Luckily for us, the people that we knew are all better, and we personally don't know anyone who has passed away from this. Everyone that we know that has had this illness are all better now. So number 9, what are some of the positive things that have come up of this? Now, of course, when it comes to something positive, I've got a list a mile long. Like I said, I try to always look at things from the bright side when you can. Some of the positive things are our quality family time. The fact that the teenagers haven't been fighting as much as they normally bicker. We appreciate food even more. My husband and I came from low income families, and my mom sometimes would make sure that we had enough to eat, and sometimes she didn't have meals for herself. And it's funny what you remember when you're little, and now looking back, now that I'm a parent and I've gone through something like this, it really brings back memories of how little we had back then. So, which kind of makes you resourceful. So when my refrigerator was still bare, the kids were making comments about like, how are you still able to make meals with the little that we have while we were waiting for the next grocery pickup? And it's funny what skills you get from your parents that you don't know until you have to put them to use. And my husband's the same thing. He remembers stories of them not having a lot, but it's not what you have, it's what you make of it. So, and I have to tell you, I will always appreciate a refrigerator with eggs. If you've seen any of my previous grocery hauls in the last few weeks, you know what I'm talking about. I have not seen eggs in a while. And actually, my best friend, she was able to get 2 boxes of 60 eggs each, and she gave me a box. And I was like, oh. When I saw those eggs, I was like, thank you. So it was so great to have them back. But when it comes to food, that's definitely something that we appreciate. And now seeing how the kids appreciate it even more when I take something out of one of the bags and they're like, oh my gosh, you got this, that's awesome. And before then, it would have just been something that was purchased and it wouldn't be a big deal to them. So that's definitely something positive that came out of this. And number 10 is, how has your neighborhood changed? We have a dog and we normally wouldn't take her for many walks when my husband and I were both working full time, because by the time we get home, I have to make dinner, spend some time with the kids and put them to bed, household chores and blah, blah. We wouldn't really have time to take her for walks. So now that we're all in the house, as soon as we log off of work, we'll take her for a walk, and the kids, of course, as well. And it's funny seeing neighbors who have heard her barking but have never actually laid eyes on her. They're like, oh my gosh, that's who Molly is. But having conversations with my neighbors from across the street, that's been a little strange. But I remember the first time I actually saw our next door neighbor, and she was across the street walking her dog, and we had like a 15-minute conversation. And the next thing you know, I turn around and my husband and our little one were gone, because she got so bored that they just kept walking. And I didn't even know it because I was so excited to talk to someone other than my immediate families. So that's how I guess our neighborhood has changed. We have really great neighbors, but talking to them from far away, it's strange. And then the few times that I've had to just go through the drive-thru of the pharmacy, or today I had to go to my little one's school to pick up her asthma medication, and I didn't step inside the school, but having a mask on while the nurse comes up to the door with her mask on, obviously that's strange and awkward, but you know, we do what we have to do to stay protected. So that's pretty much how our neighborhood has changed. And that's it. So I hope you enjoyed this chat. And now I want to tag my YouTube friends, The Long Run with Joel and Christy. And if you haven't seen their channel, I'm going to link them down below as well. They are fantastic. They are such a sweet couple. They do grocery hauls, recipes, motivation videos, and their personalities are just contagious. So I hope you enjoy their videos. And again, I'm going to link them down below and their tags. So you guys are next. And Esther, thank you so much again for tagging me on this. This has been fun. And I hope you guys are safe and that you enjoyed it. Bye.